good question. So attribution, as you say, is very difficult. I despise attribution models. I really do. The reason that I don't like attribution as a topic is because it's one of those weird things where you can just change how you calculate it and it changes the result. So if I'm a Facebook vendor, I'm going to be like, well, first click, look, oh, Facebook's amazing. And if I'm the email vendor, then I'm going to be like, well, no, last click, look, email's amazing. And you can literally change the attribution model and it changes your answer. And I think that's what makes it so hard, because there's no absolute truth, right? There's just a version of the truth, and it's not so objective, really. So what I try to do is avoid all of that by specifically tying the ads, the messages. Let's call them messages in general, right? Everything I'm sending somebody to the site, there's a very specific stage in the customer journey that I'm trying to accomplish. So as an example, and this is, I know Facebook doesn't do this anymore, but they did all the ad platforms do, these really wide attribution windows where it's like 28 days of attribution. What ad has ever been created on Facebook where you're supposed to take the result sometime in the next month? None of them. They are all click on the ad and then take some sort of action. That's what you're supposed to be doing, right? But that's not how it's measured. So what we do is we actually make it very tight attribution windows. So we'll try to do like a day attribution, because the ad is designed to accomplish the results in a day, technically immediately or within minutes of that ad being clicked on. So we try to measure for that. Because what I want to know as a marketer is, and the way I think about the ads, it goes back to the visualizations. I think about them as little salespeople. So this ad is a salesperson whose job it is, and this again ties back to the whole framework stuff we talked about. This ad whose job it is to get people to become aware of the academy. That's it. That's the conversion we're measuring for. So as soon as that awareness goal happens, it's like when the page loads, that ad's done its job. It's great. Now everybody moves into a new campaign whose job it is to get them to engage with the academy. In other words, click on that to go to the cart, and the messaging will change. And if they've already bought, then obviously they get pulled out of that campaign. But if they've clicked on the cart and they haven't bought, they get into another campaign. That ad's job is to get them to complete the purchase, right? And so, because you know who you're talking to, you can change the messaging. So one might be like, here's all these different reasons of looking at, the academy. Maybe you've got this problem. The academy can help you solve this measurement thing. And you go, cool, now I'm aware of it. But you don't buy because something got in the way. The next message is, here's what other people are saying about the academy being successful at it. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I remember that. And oh, they're getting ahead of me. I should maybe, that works to get you to engage. But if you don't engage, it's like, okay, hey, here's this bonus or whatever that you can get for becoming an academy member. And so now there's a different reason to get them to complete. So going back to your attribution question, is we very tightly identify attribution windows, and we have a very specific purpose. So it's not, we hope it sells the academy. It's this should do this in the customer journey. This should move them here in the customer journey. This is targeting this group and should move them here in the customer journey. And because the amount of time, and this is the key, because the amount of time between the click and the objective of the click is very short, you can make everything last click, which is easy to attribute. So then what you do is you measure all of those, and then you can make a bigger dashboard, and we can literally have a dashboard of a customer journey that says, here's the traffic sources that are really good at making people aware. Here are the traffic sources that are really good at getting them to complete. Here are the traffic sources that are really good at getting them to engage. And then you can take best of breed. And that's how you start going things like, actually Google Organic is really good about making them aware. Facebook retargeting or Google Ads retargeting is really about getting them to engage and maybe become a lead. And then our email is what causes them to actually close when they have a relationship with us. And then we can see that and we go, cool, this is how it works now. And then we just say, okay, this is how it's supposed to work. Then we measure against it to make sure it's always still working, because the markets change, right? Technical stuff happens. So we're always measuring against to make sure it's working in the same way that it's supposed to. But we can easily tell an ad, right? Our marketing team can say, this much money should cause this to happen. And we know, as opposed to like sometime in the next month, maybe it makes money. It's not about that. It's about, no, it should get this to happen. Because if we're getting them to move through the journey, we know, the truth is in the trend. The power's in that pattern. They're going to complete a certain percentage of them will complete a sale because the trend is there. We know that trend is there.